In the day's other news, Russia moved to forging even closer ties with NATO member Turkey today. In Ankara, Russia's President Vladimir Putin met with Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan. They approved plans for Russia to build Turkey's first nuclear power plant. The Turks already agreed to buy a long-range missile defense system from Moscow. The United States formally proposed 25% tariffs this evening on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods. It's part of a plan to punish Beijing for alleged technology theft. The list ranges from aerospace to chemicals to motorcycles. In France, high-speed trains stood still today as a series of strikes began against the national rail system. Workers are protesting President Emmanuel Macron's plan to trim benefits that date back to the 1930s, including guaranteed jobs for life. In Paris, stations were packed this morning, and commuters complained of crowding on the slower trains that were running.
This is really catastrophic. Something needs to be done. We're the victims. We haven't done anything. We need to get to work like everyone else. You should have seen what happened on the train. Some people felt unwell, women were crying, children. This isn't normal.
Meanwhile, hundreds of rail workers and their supporters marched in the streets of Paris. They plan to strike a total of 36 days over the next 3 months. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reversed himself today and canceled a deal to move and resettle some 16,000 African migrants from Israel to Western nations. Another 20,000 would have remained in Israel, but Netanyahu's conservative supporters rebelled against that plan after it was announced. Most of the migrants are from Eritrea and Somalia. Back in this country, 17 states, the District of Columbia, and 6 cities are suing the Trump administration over adding a citizenship question to the 2020 census. The question has not been asked in 70 years. New York's Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, along with lawmakers and civil rights groups, called it an affront to the Constitution.
This is really just an effort to punish places like New York that welcome immigrants, that are accommodating to immigrants, and embrace the American tradition of open arms for all. So we stand to lose money because this determines congressional representation and the Electoral College. We stand to lose political representation.
The state of California filed a separate lawsuit last week. Striking teachers closed a number of school districts across Oklahoma for a second day. Thousands of educators and their supporters descended on the state capitol. They are demanding increased funding for public schools. The state's largest teachers union says that the walkout will continue tomorrow. President Trump is again defending the conservative Sinclair Broadcast Group. The company has been criticized for having its news anchors read a message that voices concern about fake news. Today, Mr. Trump tweeted, "The fake news networks, those that knowingly have a sick and biased agenda, are worried about the competition and quality of Sinclair Broadcast." Sinclair is one of the country's largest broadcast chains, owning nearly 200 TV stations. Wall Street battled back today and recouped some of Monday's losses. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 389 points to close at 24,033. The Nasdaq rose 71 points, and the S&P 500 added 32. And Villanova University celebrated today as its men's basketball team returned home to Philadelphia as national champions. The Wildcats claimed the title last night, beating Michigan 79-62. It is their second title in 3 years. Congratulations. Still to come on the NewsHour, the head of the EPA under scrutiny. What's next for a war-torn Syria and the U.S. role there? Plus, much more.